What is up, Lost World crew? We're out here, Nevada, at the Punk Rock Mine. It's pretty rad. It's got multiple cabins, bunkhouses going all the way up. And I've heard this mine's got some really cool stuff at the bottom. I think there's a couple muckers, some slushers, and a bunch of other cool stuff. There's two adits running in. This one goes down a decline right away. This one I think will get us to where we want to go, but when we come out, we'll try and run that one as well. I believe this was a lead and silver mine, and it ran up until the 80s. And yeah, let's run in there. It is not super hot outside. It's about 78, but in here it's nice and cool. So let me get my lights all situated and we'll start working our way in. All right, here we go. Looks like they got a bunch of sample bags, ore samples, a metal ladder. They had some Christmas lights going in and they were hanging their laundry up here to dry. But yeah, I don't know if I already said, this mine's elevation is up at 8,070 feet. So we're up here, close to Silver Peak. And this mine's got a crazy story that goes with it. Looks like we got some accumulators here. Some blasting stuff on that side. Let's check this out. I'll tell you the story after we check this out when we start walking down the adit. Look like little, oh man, massive floodlights. No bulbs. It goes that far. It's got these big accumulators here. Go up in this room. Which is a fusing station. They had their dynamite fuse set up. Run down. They'd get their lengths, cut it, be on their way. Oh, Kilroy was here. Red, 5 feet, black 6 feet, yellow 7. Maybe it's the length of the cord that had to be cut for the color. Has cool blasting caps, igniters. Cool little room. It's cool that it's raised. Never been in one that's raised. I mean, they're all like that back room back there. Let's head further in. But like I was saying, this mine was run up until the late 80s. And there was an accident here. I believe it was 3 miners lost their lives when they were removing timber and track from a section. There was a collapse. And they never got them out. They're still in here today. Pretty wild. But I'm excited for this one. I've had this one pinned for a long time. And on the other side of this hill is another mine that I'm going to try and get into. And I think it gets you to the other side of the collapse. And I've heard that there's a square set in there. So today we're going to run the Punk Rock Mine, and then tomorrow we'll head over there and see what we can find. It looks like we got a split coming up. Info. So blasting fill, accelerant, I believe. Good height in this mine, so probably 6'2", not having a duck. And it feels great in here. Like I said, it's a little warm outside, not bad, but in here it's nice and cool. Let's check out what's on this side. Looks like we're shooting a ladder. Runs down into a stoping work. Yeah, it gets into the upper stope. On the way up, we'll check that out. Let's go a little further in on this level. All right, making back to that split. Filter Kings. Now we're taking that left. Porky. Wilson T. Two more ore bins with their planks in. Going way up. And it looks like we're getting to the main shaft that runs down. And I think it goes, I think we're on the 200-foot level, and then it drops down to the 500-foot level. Might be on the 100-foot level. Exit that way. Fire extinguisher. First aid. Keep gate closed. Someone left the gate open. Looking up, which will probably finish going up that way, and heading down. But before we head down, let's continue on this drift level. Here, we'll close the, make sure no one falls in there. I wonder what that was running. No go. Big old pipes. Solid metal door. Continuing deeper in. Crazy stope workings running down. Lots of pipes. Stoping work running its way up. Probably looking down the stope again. Yep. And total collapse. I ain't that skinny. So let's head back to the shaft, start working our way down to the lower levels. All right, just getting back to the Royal shaft in the punk rock mine. Safety gate up, and in we go. Squeeze around this board real quick. Without falling down the shaft. Now. Nice. It's a good probably 70-degree incline here. So instead of watching me walk down this slowly, I will speed it up until we get to the next drift. Now I saw up there we were on the 200-foot level. There was a marking that said 200 level, so we're working our way down to the 300. All right, I'll see you guys at the next drift. All right, getting to the next drift level. Intercom system. That's rad. Stretcher. Old gas jug, it looks like. Shaft manway for authorized persons or emergency use only. Looks like they've closed that side off, but we'll try and see what's on the other. We got a blue toilet seat. Keep gate closed. Some kind of scaler. No riding skips at any time. But that would be so much fun. Fire escape, left and right. No trespassing, no trespassing, keep out. Let's run left first. I feel like we only came down 50 feet, so maybe this is the 250-foot level. Backfilled that. 1981. Strobel. Looks like a storage place for their ventilation, extra track, pipage. A lot of rockfall in this section. Very loose material. We got our first little bat right there. Little sleepy little guy. So some unstable material for sure in this little section. This is that stoping work we were looking down when we first came. Oh no, just a little raise right here. Thought it was going to be a stope. But just a little raise. Big old U bolts. Here's the stoping work. And I wonder if this is, when we were looking down, when we first came in right past the fusing station, I wonder if this is the ladder way that will get you up there. But I'm gonna work my way all the way down, and then on the way up, we'll split off and hit these ladder systems running up into the stope's and check out what's up in there. But let's head back to that spot that said no trespassing. Because you know what that means? We going in. Okay, that graffiti says we're on the 300-foot level right there. So maybe we did come down 100 feet. But we're back to that spot that said no trespassing. Lots of carbide dots. Escapeways. Use safety line. Make sure to have your safety glasses on. So I bet that ladder system over there that went under the stope's did lead to the surface. Aluminum vapor tight industrial lighting fixtures. That's the other side. That's the shaft we came down. Mounted all their electrical and fuses right here. 30 amp. Nice. They're off. Engaged. Pretty cool. Probably emergency flashing light if something was going on. But let's head further down the 300-foot drift. This is the stoping work that we're looking down that had the cages up above. Got big air pipe, water pipe. Big chunks of rock just ready to slough off right there. Pretty stuff. For sure. Ladder system going down. Let's poke our head over. Flag leads into, it's a manway. It's probably an escape route from the lower drift. That's what it looks like. Look, we were just looking down that manway escape route, and they'd come up and I think run over here, and same thing. They'd run their escape out through the upper. I'm wondering if this will get us on the other side of that collapse. We'll find out on the way out. This is a really big mine. We got a honey pot. This is where the miners would come and take a dump. What do you think? Is there anything in it? Some leftover miner dookie. Assuming that's lye to cover up their business so they don't stink. Again, leading down into stope. Getting over to another collapse. Does it go anywhere? Nope, no way over. Who knows if it kept going or if this is as far as it went. Pretty cool. First time I've seen a honey pot in a mine. Modern one. Might just use it myself. But yeah, let's head back to the shaft and head further down. Okay, getting back to the shaft, heading down. Big old chunk of lumber. And again, I'll speed this up and see you guys at the next drift level. All right, we are getting down to the 400 level. Again, shaft manway for authorized persons or emergencies only. I'm an authorized person, so I'm using it. Oh, sick, some rad stuff to the right. Before we do that, let's go left here. just stops. There's a little bit of galena back in there. But let me get a drink of water and we'll go across the shaft here. Okay, before we go across and look at these awesome items, looks like they had their intercom right here with their emergency light. Some kind of button or something. Stay on the trap door. Keeps going. Assuming the next level will be the last 500 footer, 500 foot level. But this is cool. This is pretty rad. We got a big winch, a medium winch, and a little smaller winch over there. And these are slushers. And what they would do is this winch system here would be hooked up to the slusher. The slusher would be at the end of a drift. See how this is kind of like cut right here? And what would happen is they'd throw all the stuff in, all the ore, waste rock would come down, the slusher would come down, the winch would pull it, and it would drag all the stuff out to where it needed to be. And that's the point of a slusher. Then it would go back, repeat the process. That is pretty rad. Three different sizes too. So cool. Slushers and their winches. And looks like we got some bolts right here for stabilizing the rock. Man, Jeff told me what these were called. Slicks? Keep miners from getting just soaked. A Lee Rider's jacket, which is pretty rad. Still got the buttons on it. It's dope. Let's continue further on the 300-foot level. Big collapse. Everything that was above us, we're now walking on. Getting to a little station area, it looks like. Is this false floor? I don't know. Oh, sick. Keeps going that way. We'll squeeze that way. But I just looked over here, and there is a ore cart. But see how it's like dug out in this trench-like way? That's because the slusher was just chunking away right here. Just eating away, as you can see. Right there. Little valley. Is it an ore cart? I think it's a blasting box. Yep, so they kept dynamite. You can see there's a little piece right there. Just the hair left. You can see the wood chips in there to keep it, wick up all the moisture. Stick of dynamite. Is that a giant stick of dynamite, or did it come rolled and then they cut it to the length they wanted? That's what these are. I don't know if they came in that length and they cut it to the size that they wanted. I'll have to ask my dad's friend. And this is that bolt that I was kind of talking about. They jam that in there. And it would kind of, I don't really know how it works. It's like magic. But it would hold all the rock together and kind of keep it from caving in. And it stops right here. And again, you can see where the slusher is doing work. Tons of gypsum hair all over. Pretty. Cool, let's head back and climb a little further into that collapse. Okay, making it back here. I almost think this whole thing is false floor. I think there's stope underneath us. It wiggles, it sounds hollow. Oh yeah. There's a, I wonder if I can climb up and over. There's a shaft right here, or winds. And that goes a ways. I can see it stops right there. Let me get my bright light. So this, what we're all on, is false floor. But it stops right there. And there's a ladder system that looks like it probably goes into this stoping work. There's another honey pot right there. So pretty rad. I'm not going to climb over there because I can see that it ends. And I want to get off this false floor. So I'll meet you guys back at the shaft. And we'll head down to the 500-foot level. Alright, we're about to head down to the 500-foot level. Which looks like it's right there. But looking back up, you can see the light way out there. Little dot. But let's head down to the lowest most level. That's where I heard there's some good stuff. Again, I'm going to speed it up and I'll catch you guys at the next drift. All right, we are down to the 500-foot level. It says right there. Open shaft. It's the sump down there. We'll go down there after this. Yep, that's the sump there. Ore carts would come across, dump over this grizzly, skip would be down there, and then it would be pulled all the way back up. Something else I noticed with the track is it's doubled. There's 3 track. What does that mean? Skip car, and then on that side, I don't know, some kind of small little cart. Who knows? But I'm gonna take a little break, get a drink of water, have some peanuts, and then we'll head on deeper. All right, before we go right, let's go left. It's another bathroom station. Just trash. Probably a bathroom station. Another Lee Ryder jacket. Close the curtain so they can have a little privacy while using the porcelain toilet. Porcelain throne. Alright, continuing further. Another priming and fusing station. Gotta look out for dynamite when you come in here. Blasting caps. Some rebar. This is where dynamite would be stored. Fuse rate 49 seconds per foot. They left us no goodies. Big old nails for their timber. Red diamond. That's pretty cool. Awesome shovel. We don't want the dynamite blowing up, so close the door. Alright, continuing deeper. It says exit. A lot of ventilation pipe, timber, track. Looks like another one of those dynamite carts. And a grizzly. Yep. You can see there's dynamite right there. It's all smushed. Dynamite instructions. Is this a grizzly? Nope. Might have. Just another fusing station. Let's say mud seal. Some kind of concrete. Look at that fungus. Fungus among us. Let's get back over there and continue deeper. Looks like we're coming up on a split in the track. There's a Stokes basket. Goes left, but we're gonna go right first. Or probably not right, because it's sick. So stoked. Let's walk over here real quick. We got a big ore chute going up. Ladder system. There's probably a manway here. And then right here is their tool skip. So they could climb up, have their tools hooked up, pull it up that way. And it is just all wedged in there, so the ladder system stops. We're gonna be able to get behind that collapse. I don't know how far it goes, but we'll check it out. The cool thing about this, it's all custom made. Big old piece of metal, grinded down, welded it onto some pipage, cut some holes, put chain, and they could throw all their gear, tools, whatnot in here and have it be pulled on up to wherever they were working. So we'll climb around this collapse. Oh, sick. There's a mucker over here. Let me get my better light. We got one ore chute. Can't read it. It's upside down. Ladder system going way up. Dead something. Bunch of dead somethings. And check this out. This is sick. I saw one on the other side going right, which we'll see when we go back. Was it Elmco? Mucker? Oh, rad. With a bucket on front. And the miners love this because instead of mucking everything by hand and shovel, they could stand on this guy right here. Oh, it's not even frozen. They have different levers to make this bad boy go forward, backwards, drop the bucket, muck up everything that they blasted and knocked down, and then put it in the ore cart behind it. That's rad. So cool. Okay, let's pass this mucker. This mother mucker. I'm in love. And it actually faces right there. So we will head back and go the opposite direction. All right, we're back to that split where we took the right. Now we're gonna run left. Big old tarps. Another ore chute. Some metal ladders. Looks like another custom made tool skip. That's what I think it is. And another mucker. This one's even cooler. Oh no, one of its wheels fell off. Left in the upright position. So rad. So cool. Another ladderway, real rotten. And it looks like it ends right here. Yep. All right, let's head back to where we came down the shaft, and we will take that right. All right, we're back to the shaft, and I'm wondering now if this smaller track on this side was where they'd slide their tool skips up. Just a thought. Got a big accumulator here, the pressure gauge, battery banks. It's a chloride. Some more slicks. That looks like some kind of slide or something with a, I don't know. Bunch of first aid stuff there. All right, made it back to the split. We're going left. A lot of timber here. Another honey pot. Another slusher right there. Ends right in the back. That's 4 slushers we found so far in this mine. We always get up. Top's on, I'm not going to open it. They're wedges to get all this timber wedged in. Fire escape. Now that's that manway I think we were looking down on the 400-foot level that I kind of climbed through that tiny little hole so they could climb out, and they do have a tool skip thing there that they can pull up. Big ore bins. Looks like maybe some galena up there. Little collapse all around. Metal ladders going up into the stoping work. Some real wet wood here. You can see the glisten. And might have kept going. There's a major collapse. I might have just stopped here. Crazy fungi again. Cool, let's head back to the shafts, work our way back up to, I believe it was the 300-foot level. Damn, look at that mold. Crazy. Work our way back up to the 300-foot level, and then we'll see if we can get up into the stope up that ladder system. All right, we made it back up to the 300-foot level. That's that escapeway, manway that we were looking at down on the 400, and then also on the 5. So we made it back up here to the 300. Yeah, 300. And we came across the shaft. So to the right, if we were coming down to the right. And we're going to try and go up this guy. There's one on the other side as well. The reason I'm going to go up this one is because there was that collapse on the 200 foot. And I don't remember seeing a ladder. But I'm hoping that maybe this will get us behind that collapse. And if it doesn't, I gotta climb back down this ladder and go back over, but we shall see. I didn't bring my helmet connector to hook the GoPro, so I'm just gonna have to hold it as I go up. And we snapped the rung. Take it a little more cautiously. Was going kind of slow, but and yeah, getting into the stope, you can see all the stalls in there. Okay. Looking across into the stoping work. And this should lead us up. It will take us up to the 200. I don't know if it'll get us up there, but remember the 200-foot level had those cages to keep from knocking debris down. This might be it, actually. They might have Oh no, there's a ladder up there. Again, sorry I don't have my helmet mount, but we'll make do. That's a wicked ladder. So it should be 100 feet, right? Because we're going up to the 200. Either way, we're gonna have to go up some kind of ladder. Looks like there's a collapse there. Let's look out into the stope here. Looks like there's a collapse. Let's see if we can check it out. That ladder looks real sketch. Bottom part's snapped. That don't matter. We're just concerned about that upper part. See where they were working out there, that little beam. Major collapse. I think it's right on the other side of the collapse on the 200. Let's see what we can do. It is leaning, tons of mold up there. Don't want to fall. And yep, total collapse in there. Gone. Dang. All right, well, I'm gonna turn you guys off. I'm gonna get down this ladder and then we'll head to the other side where that other escapeway is and try and run up that. Look at all this mold everywhere. Crazy. All right, I'll catch you on the other side. All right, we're still on the 300-foot level. We are now just on the left side of the shaft, making our way over to this man-way escape route. And we are gonna see if this will get us to the 200-foot level. And then from there, we will work our way back over to the main shaft and head out through the top, if that is possible. Alright, we got some broken rungs. 2 are missing. Can't see what's over that. Let's try and beat this gap. I think I got a bunch of dirt on the camera. Working its way up through the stope work. Real janky. Be real careful on this one. Of course, I got a big backpack on. Not that high up, but definitely hurt, and I'd probably break my ankle if I fell. This one's going to be hard. See if I can do this without dying. You can see everything. Here, everything's falling out. Let's see. Oh, shit. Sheesh. Put this board here. This ladder's janky. It's breaking everywhere. You can see tight space in a ladder that is breaking. Okay, hopefully this will get us out. So I don't have to climb back down that. God damn. All right, let me get situated. I'll turn you back on. All right, I got all my stuff back on, more situated. This stuff is just really loose. Every step, stuff is sliding down. Looking out into the stope over there. And the major stope on the other side. They left pillars. Looks like it goes up and crosses over. Yep. Okay. Crossing over now through one of the pillars. There's the other side of the stope. And we're at the 200-foot level. I remember this looking over. Right from the beginning I said we'd come back and check it out at the end. We did. Rad. We made it up that one. Now we're gonna head back over to the main shaft and climb up to the 100-foot level, if that's accessible, and then out to the top. So I'll see you guys at the next level. If there isn't one, I'll see you top side. All right, we're about 25-30 feet up from the 200-foot level, and I came across the skip flip. So initially they were probably taking everything out through the top, and then at some point they punched in the 200-foot level and made that their haulage tunnel. So it looks like the skip would come up, the hook in, flip, and then if you remember when we were on the right side of the shaft on the 200-foot level, there was that split with the ore bin, and on the right side it just faced. That's because the ore cart would come up, or sorry, skip cart would come up, hook here, flip its ore in, and would go into that chute to a ore cart, and then it would be taken out the 200 level and processed somewhere. So, but if I come across anything, I'll turn you guys back on. If not, again, I'll see you at the top. All right, came about probably 40 feet up from where that skip flip was, about 100 feet up now from the 200-foot level. So I would assume this would be the 100-foot level, and it doesn't really go anywhere. There's a small little stoping work right here. See, they had some track in, and they just worked up into this raise, a little pocket. Like I said, I think this is the 100-foot. So we are going to continue topside. So I'll see you guys up there. All right, we've almost climbed 500 feet out. We're on the last 20-foot section. I can feel the warmth. So I'm trying to throw my backpack up. It's tight. Squeeze. More topside. Oh, a little head frame. Oh man. It's probably the hoist house. Or hoist would be here somewhere. Oh. Pretty rad. Some cool stuff in there for sure. It's a long explore, but totally worth it. Wish we could have got up that other stope where the collapse was, but oh well. I hope you guys dug this little trip here to the punk rock mine. Like I said, there was some cool rad stuff in there. Those slushers, the winches for the slushers, and those 2 muckers. Badass. But like always, love your adventure, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Even when you feel slow, you can still go. Even when there's no hope, you can still go. I never answer to no, man, I still go. Go, 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 yeah, go, go, go. Hustle hard, hustle every single day. I'll be making moves till I'm buried in my grave. To the system, I don't wanna be a